welcome back to my channel. You are watching Fromnishasview, and of course I am Nisha. And if this is your first time catching me, tuning in, you're finding me, thank you. I appreciate you for stopping in and checking us out. All right, and on my channel I talk about fashion and I talk about photography, and today we are on the photography side, so you know what it is. It is Photography Talk with Nisha. Today we're going to be talking about light trails and how I got those light trails at night. So stay tuned and we're going to talk about it, because the first time that I got some light trails, I was ecstatic. I was just over the moon when I seen those light trails. I had it down packed. I loved it. From then on out, it was light trails all the time. So first off, we're going to talk about the equipment that you need. The equipment. You need a camera. Now, I talked about this in my previous video, but if not, you need a camera, or you can use your phone. I've never done this with the phone, but I'm pretty sure it's possible you could do it with your phone. But I use the Canon R6 Mark II, and this was the first time that I've used her since I got her earlier this summer, using her for cityscapes and landscapes and stuff like that. And she worked like a charm. I loved it because there's a setting in here that you can put on that follows cars. It can follow animals and people, of course, but tried it with the cars and it worked so good. But anyway, the body, you need a camera. Then you need a lens. I use the 35mm as my lens, and it has a 9-blade aperture. And then what else you need? You need a tripod. So you need a tripod. I use a Manfrotto. I've been using this tripod forever, so it works. So I'm not going to knock it. It does what it needs to do. And you need a remote. You need a trigger, right? You need a remote, or you could use the timer in your camera, or if you use your phone, maybe you use the timer in that. But I have a remote that I've had for, let me tell you, I've had this remote for years. It's got tape on it. So when you see it in the video, go ahead, laugh, whatever. But it gets the job done. It's holding on by some tape, but it's doing what it needs to do. Click the button and it does what it needs to do. Now, this last one is an ND filter. You don't really need an ND filter. I just like using them, especially sometimes at night. I like to use them. It helps with the glare. So anyway, that's the equipment, and I'm going to do another voiceover. If you watch my other video, I did a voiceover for that too. And in that video, in that part of the video, I really go through my settings and show you the outcome of the video. So with no further ado, let's roll the video.
All right, because there was still a lot of light coming in, I went up on my aperture f-stop to f11 just to decrease some of that light. My ISO always stays at 100, and my shutter speed for this one I did 20 seconds. Remember, I'm also using an ND filter that also helps with cutting the light. And yeah, so this is the final picture. I like it. There's still a lot of light coming in, but you can start to see the trails very easily. Now here in this one, I'm playing around with my shutter speed because I'm trying to see what I can do, what I can, accomplish with either a 20-second shutter speed or a 30-second shutter speed. With this particular one, I did a 30-second shutter speed and the f-stop of f11. ISO 100. And this is the final look. Now these next 3 pictures, the shutter speed that I used was 30 seconds and the f-stop was 7.1. And the reason why I did 7.1 was to increase some light because we were losing light. It was getting a little bit darker than the previous photos. So here I just lowered the f-stop a little bit.
That's how I did the light trails. I love doing light trails. Like I said before, when I first did those light trails and seen that light trails, I was so excited, especially when I did some waterfall stuff and seeing that slow shutter, that waterfall. It was so good. But anyway, those are the settings that I like to use for my light trails. So definitely go out. That is the only way that you really can get good at something, is if you go out and do it. So go out, practice, do it, get better at it, learn something, learn some tips and tricks, whatever it is. If you made it this far, you might as well go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Help me out a little bit. Hit the comments, dialogue in the comments. I love to hear what are some of your tips and tricks on light trails. And of course, share. What else? Like, all of that good stuff. Help us out a little bit. All right. So until next time, I'll talk to you then.
Watching
Bye.
my GG channel. Period.